Hey guys, welcome in. I'm Tiffany. I hope you are doing well today. And I am out in the garden. I have been doing a little bit of work. I've been doing some work over in the vegetable garden. And I am going to be putting some mulch out on my driveway. I had a father come visit me with his son, adorable son. He's very shy. And I'm getting into a shaded area here. Hang on. So it's pretty shady over there. So you can't really see too well there. So I'll finish telling you the story. But his son is a Boy Scouts, and they were selling mulch, and his son was very shy. He was just like, would you like to? He was just really shy with his head down. So his father had to do the talking for him. So I bought 3 bags of black mulch from them. I don't typically like to use dyed mulch. I like to use the black velvet, which they, through a composting process, is just naturally that dark and rich looking. But from using it, it does kind of fade to kind of a grayish look to me after a few weeks. So, I'm wanting to do compost this year because I really want to feed all of the beds very well with some fresh, rich soil. Compost specifically. But what I do want to do out here in the driveway along one of the beds is use the 3 bags that I got from the Boy Scouts. So let me show you what is out there, and then I'll show you where I want to put the mulch. All right, guys, so I'm out here on the driveway, and as you can see, I have 3 bags of it's called Living Earth Premium Black Mulch. I have not looked up anything on it to see if it's dyed or whatever. Most of these mulches these days are, but I'm going to use those, and I'm going to go ahead and put them here on this bed. And ignore this over here. I'm collecting my trash so I can take it out to the street for pickup in the morning. But let's see. This is the bed that I'm going to be putting the mulch in. So let's get started with that. right, guys. Well, I have finished putting the mulch down and you can kind of see it behind me there. It looks so good. So let me show you close up what it looks like. All right, as I step back, there we have it. And I did a thick layer of it. This could really take 1.5 bags at the most if you just do a thin layer. Two at the minimum, 2 bags at the most, 1.5 at the minimum, 2 at the most, you know, if you want to do a thin layer or medium layer. But I did 2 full bags and a portion, like half of the 3rd bag right there. And that is because there's so many leaves and everything down there and pine needles. So I just wanted to make sure everything is covered and the layers are really thick. So this is it. I think it looks so good, so fresh, so clean, nice and neat and tidy. And I will be putting some kind of conifer style evergreen here and here, probably the same as what I'm going to put in the back courtyard garden. But I did not want to, I'm stepping back for you again. I did not want to wait on that. I wanted to get this freshened up and get those leaves and stuff covered. So that looks so good. Yes. And so that is the start of mulch. Like I said, I want to use compost, but I ordered that from the little Boy Scouts. So I'm going to use it right there in that corner. I think it's perfect. And I'll save that other half bag for when I do plant. I can use it to, you know, fill in spots or whatever. But the rest of the garden, I'm going to put compost down. And Miss Tika is trying to disappear off to the side of the garage again. But anyway, we are now about to head into the vegetable garden. So let me show you what I plan on doing. So guys, the tomatoes that I grew last year in this bed have babies coming up right there, a bunch of little babies. There's some right there. And here is one here, one there, and looks like a little one starting to come up there. So I've got more tomatoes coming up. So I'm going to see if I can transplant these from there to this bed, which is freshly filled. So we'll see. And of course, this bed I cleaned up and got all the weeds out. And as you can see, it still has weeds coming back. So I've got to come back and break this up again. All right, guys, so I have everything that I wanted to do for today done in the vegetable garden. And let me show you what everything looks like here at the end. I didn't really record much because you've seen me break up the soil in the beds and things like that. I just wanted to get it done. So I got 5. I could have gotten a lot more if I separated the tomato sprouts out individually, but I planted them kind of together in clumps. So I got 5 clumps of the tomato seedlings that were regrowing in the other bed. So let's take a look at it. So it is midday, the sun is high, you might see some sun glares. I'm going to do my best to try to avoid them, but it's kind of hard this time of day. But as you can see, this bed has been filled, and I have the tomatoes planted in there. Those are, let me give you a closer look. You see I kind of got them in groups there. So I tried to preserve all of the little seedlings that that were there, and I put them in groups. So I need some more tomato trellises like this one here. This bed here, the two sides, I broke the soil up and got it done, and I started on this one and got this side done. And I noticed something oddly with this bed, this side of this bed here, that there were like no worms in there. I had a multitude of worms in the other beds, which, you know, worms are a good sign. They're keeping the soil loose, and obviously that there's signs of nutrients in the soil and things like that. I didn't see any worms in here, so I took worms from some of the other beds and added them to that instead of buying some, and hopefully I'll, you know, start to get some populations in there. I started on this bed here, but I have not finished. I actually have another little tomato coming up right there and there, but I can't save everything. And these are turnips that I got from, or the start of turnips. They're more shaped like carrots, you know, from this bed here. And I dug up some worms from this bed, but I haven't started breaking it up yet. And I re-cleared this bed out. It was starting to show little seedlings again, so I just kind of have to stay on top of this. But stepping back and seeing if I can give you a good view on an angle, that's what it looks like. So we've got one bed full of tomatoes. This bed here is where the habaneros and the bell peppers are going to go. And I'm going to do collards in that back along with some sunflowers, because I want to try to get some sunflower seeds. I love sunflower seeds. I'm going to put kale in here. And this bed, I'll be collecting the lettuce, you know, before it gets real hot, but I'm gonna eat from it for right now. And the mustards are starting to come back, so from what we pruned when the frost came. So guys, that is everything back here, and I got my hands on some beautiful flowers. I have to decide where I want to put them. I have this white Gara. You can see it. It is called Indian Feather Sparkle White. I have this plant here, which I believe is a scabiosa. Let's see. It doesn't say on there, but when I picked it up, it said scabiosa. I've got a couple of Gerber daisies, a yellow, and this one with this pretty kind of tie-dye pink and white. And this one back here, let me try to get myself out of the shadow there. This is Agastache, and it is like a coral pink, very, very pretty. So I will be trying to figure out where to put those. And of course, as you remember, these are the bell peppers and habaneros. So that's that. Now let's find Tika. Oh, it feels so good back here. This shade feels so good. But I've got a ton of leaves falling in the yard from this tree in front of me. This tree is starting to be a pain in the butt. It gives us nice shade, but at the same time, you know, it leaves a ton of leaves, and the majority of the tree is leaning over into our yard and not the neighbors. So we get the bulk of the leaves more so than they do. This is frustrating. And I don't know why the leaves are falling so heavily this time of year. I don't know. I'm like looking up at the tree like, are you dying? What's going on with you? But anyway, I think I'm going to stay back here in the shade for a minute. I don't want to step on my spinach. Oh my goodness. Ooh, Tika, it's nice and cool back here. No wonder you like it back here. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for today. Thank you for joining me in the garden. I hope you love the way that mulch looks the way I love it. I love that fresh, clean look. But anyway, I will see you in the next video. Bye.